Welcome to Take It from the Iron Woman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Iron Woman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Iron Woman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. This podcast is being sponsored by Get Loopy. On episode 41, you can hear the story of Isabel, the co-founder and CEO. Get Loopy, get a 20% discount off your first order. GetLoopy.com. Take it from the Iron Woman again. We only have special guests here, and today we have Kevin with us. Kevin and I share many things together. Among one is the sport. So who is Kevin who's going to join us today?
I think, first of all, I'm Kevin Reid, so it's really great to speak to everyone. But I think Suzanne's being a little modest. Suzanne and I worked together, not only sharing sports, but she was really an integral part of something that we needed. And she came on board, and she actually did a really awesome job with my organization, with what she did. And she helped us through a pretty tough time. So it was really awesome. But who am I? I'm a person who works for a large corporation who does a lot of corporate training. It's a sports and entertainment company, and I train a lot of the people who work in the area of helping the guests and working with the guests. And one thing that I've been trying to do during this whole mess since we've been shut down since March, and we have no idea when we're going to open up again. While, it was fun to just take off a few days and say, hey, you know what? Let's all drink. Let's party. This is going to be great. We're going to be back to work in no time. Well, that was in March. It is now July, and there's still no end date. So I had to readjust my thinking and getting back to eating healthy and trying to figure out how to work out, because I had a gym membership and I can't go to the gym, and I won't go to the gym. One thing that I've discovered is that you can actually have all the workout equipment that you need in your apartment, get a good solid workout, and you can still just take it outside, take it to the beach, take it to your parking lot, take it to your playground, take it to your balcony. You have a backyard, take it to your backyard with only a few simple tools. So grab a sandbag. Sandbags, if you don't know what they are, just these fantastic tools that just hold sand. It's a bag. It's got handles. You'll do all the same kind of things you do with a barbell, with a dumbbell, with a kettlebell. But this is the sand. Sand does move all over the place, so it's uneven. You have to balance. If and I don't get any money for this company, but I find them to make the best sandbags I've ever seen. Brute Force, BRUTE Force. Okay. And I believe that the website is yourabruteforce.com. Again, this is not anything that I get from it. I've tried a bunch of sandbags. These hold up like you wouldn't believe. And they're well put together, and you can toss them everywhere. And then, a TRX is one of the greatest tools you can have for your solo workout. Resistance bands and a weighted vest. And this is all you need. You can actually have this in your whole apartment and actually get a full workout, but it's great to take it outside as well. Again, to the playground, and just let yourself go, because then you have other things to work out on in the playground. But just because you don't have a gym doesn't mean you can't keep yourself healthy. And there's a point where you're going to stop wanting to take takeout. So you end up cooking at home. They're your ingredients. They're your meals. So you can do whatever you want and however you want. And Weight Watchers has a great cookbook. Not Weight Watchers the plan, Weight Watchers the cookbook. So even if you want to lose weight, you want to eat totally healthy, Weight Watchers can actually give you full-fledged meals that you can cook at home and still eat as healthy as possible.
Wow, this is amazing. I think, Kevin, you could before we recorded, you talking about the radio, right? So this is kind of like the radio commercials we have here. So the sandbags and the cookbook of the Weight Watchers.
Oh, yeah, right. I didn't even think about the Weight Watchers cookbook and how that was an endorsement for that. But it is, no one is good. It's good.
Yeah. And I think it's simple. I think a lot of people who work from home, they're like, okay, so they have to work from home. It's a new situation. And people who live in New York City, they might just working from their living room table. They don't have an office like other people who have the luxury to have an office space in their home. And then also the cooking, like a lot of people, I think, I have to say, they don't know how to cook. So having a cookbook and now using your own healthy ingredients is certainly a big game changer.
Yeah. And most people don't know how to cook because they watch too many cooking shows. So no, you're never going to be a professional chef. But man, you can cook a lasagna. You can cook a good chicken parmesan. You can cook, believe it or not, it's easy to cook General Tso's chicken in a healthy way. And everybody loves their Chinese meals, and they are really easy to cook. You follow a cookbook, you're not going to screw it up. So if something gets a little more sesame oil than it says, it's just adding flavor. It's not a cake. I don't bake.
But that's funny. So because I look into the cookbook and everything looks so perfect, and then you do it and then you're like, no, it doesn't look like in the cookbook. But at least it's your ingredients, you know what you put in, and you can also buy the healthy stuff. And it's, I don't think it's that much more expensive. And I have a friend, she said, I'm spending so much more money on food. And I said to her, but you don't pay money in the restaurant. She's like, yeah, that's right. So I think you can really save money, and the gym membership certainly, right? So you don't have to pay. I mean, I know the Equinox, I think people paid up to $200 a month.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. And can I give another endorsement that I'm not going to get paid for?
Sure, yeah. Who knows? Somebody might be listening.
I know, right? But another thing that again, I'm not looking at the picture. I look at the taste. How does it taste for everybody, right? Hello Fresh, the box company, fantastic for great meals. You get 2 meals per recipe. So it's really awesome that way. You can choose Calorie Smart. You can choose really heavy duty comfort foods. You can choose a vegan option. But again, it's like cooking is not as complicated as people make it. A lot of their recipes, 30 to 40 minutes to make. All the ingredients are right there, so you're not wasting anything. So if you have these scallions, they only give you enough scallions to make your full meal. So you're not buying all the scallions and not using them for another week. And it's really easy. It's made for individuals and families. And I think it's awesome. I mean, you could really, we could actually, in all of this, because most people will come out with what they call COVID-15, 15 pounds heavier at the very least. We can come out below losing the COVID-15 and come out really healthy in this whole process.
We don't want to have like the COVID plus 15. I hope that some of the food sources that they will hear, and then you can become their spokesperson. That would be something.
Just, it's not expensive. So,
that's another good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk for anybody's financial situation, but the meals at HelloFresh are probably just about $10 per meal, and that's 2 meals that you get.
I know another company is called Blue Apron. I don't know if they're still around.
Very similar.
Okay, but I think this is cool. So you have all the ingredients. You don't need to buy, like as you said, 2 pounds of scallions, and then what do you do with them? So you have whatever you need, and I do a Facebook Live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And I always say it's important to create a routine. So get up in the morning, take a shower, make your bed, have a healthy breakfast, and then start to work, but also work out. So it's that routine that gets you to the COVID minus 15 or as close as we need.
And a lot of us are sitting more than we normally would.
Yeah. So how do you circumvent that?
If you have an Apple Watch, it tells you to stand, right? And it tells you every hour to stand. With that, I mean, I really will go up and, if a sandbag's here, you got a 10-pound thing, got a resistant band, just take a minute, do something with it. So you're moving, your body's moving, so you're not as stiff. As Joe Rogan, another great person who has a podcast, he says, if you can walk to the refrigerator, you can do a squat.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is. If you can get up, run out of water, you get up, you go get your water in the refrigerator, you do a couple of things just to move your body, then you get back to work. Everybody needs distraction. That's your distraction.
I think so.
I just happen to need more distraction than most people.
And people who think or say they don't have weights, well, some of the people have books or you have cans. Right. So just take a few cans, lift them up, and that's it. I think it's also if we listen to athletic trainers, your body weight is good enough. How many pounds or kilos do you have in your vest that you're wearing then?
So my vest goes up, and I don't do kilos.
Okay, sorry. I don't do pounds as well.
Even though I was born in England, I still talk American. Right?
Okay, good.
But my vest goes up to 60 pounds. Each bar for the vest is 3 pounds each. So it goes up to 60 pounds. So you can put as much in as you want. If you're going for the walk outside, which I think you need to, being inside all day long, you put on the vest. It's just something heavier to carry. Yeah. So, and you put 12 pounds in the vest. So you're just carrying an extra 12 pounds. Now you know what that's going to feel like if you gain that 12 pounds.
Or if you lose it, that's also.
Or if you lose it, when you take it off, it's like, oh, yes. Now
that feels good. Now I fit into my beautiful dress again. Oh, that's cool. This is cool. Well, but I think these are really good tips for people who are working from home. And I also say, whoever doesn't have an Apple Watch, everybody has a phone these days, so you can set the alarm for 60 minutes or something. And I realized I tested like 30 minutes, and after 30 minutes, I was into something so much that it was too short for me. Right. And then I realized 45 minutes is a good time. So I set it for 45 minutes. I get up and walk around or look at something different. And then you get back. And I think it's also easier to get back into what your thinking is. And you also can become more creative when you take a little break. I agree
100%. And everybody's time is going to be different. It's just a matter of taking the time, right? Because they have the thing called the Pomodoro effect. And it's 25 minutes on, 17 minutes off. Yeah. And for me, that's too short of work and too long of a rest. Oh. But you just have to, everybody's got their time. You just have to take it. And for us, for you and I, we're both in creative fields. Taking that break and shifting, that's why I get distracted so easily. Shifting my mind actually helps me get back so I can actually complete what I'm doing and get more creative with what I'm doing. I think a lot of people need that shift.
And do you multitask then?
I can't multitask. I've tried it. Trust me, I've tried. There's nothing like having a conversation with somebody and trying to answer an email.
No, that's not possible.
It doesn't work.
No.
Even doing simple thing like trying to read something on my phone and watching TV. One of them is going to lose my attention. Usually, and I never know which one it's going to be depending on which one seems to be more interesting. But one of them, I'm going to do both, but one of them is definitely going to lose my interest. So as much as we think we can multitask, we really can. And multitasking, technically, not to get all sciencey, technically, it was a computer term for what technology could do. And we decided to make it our own, which we can't do.
I actually spoke to a neuroscientist yesterday, and she said it's not possible because the brain waves, it's only one track, and we think we can do it, but no, it's not possible. So
it's just like think about when we give presentations, right? So if we have a PowerPoint behind us and we are saying what the PowerPoint says, and the person's trying to read the PowerPoint and trying to listen to us at the same time, they've gotten neither because their brain can read a lot quicker than we can actually speak those words. Yeah. And yet they still have to listen to what we say. So they've lost it on both sides, even though both things say the same exact thing.
That's interesting. So then how do your PowerPoints look like? They have just a picture and then you speak to the picture. Is that a better way to address the audience?
And it depends on what it is. For the most part, the PowerPoints are more just of an enhancement of what I'm saying. So they might have a picture, or they'll just have points, to what it is. Or if there's, if there are words I'm trying to emphasize, the words will come out and be the emphasis on everything. But it's a combination of those kinds of tools. Very short, quick things for folks to actually see and grasp and tie into what I'm saying more than it is what I'm saying. The only time I use a lot of words is if I really need to follow instructions, and the instructions are there, but they're there because they have to keep referring back to them. And that's why I can keep repeating it.
Yeah, I learned once that you should only have not more than 4 bullet points on the PowerPoint. And obviously a picture helps. So then some people we know remember the pictures better than others. So it depends a little bit on your learning style, on your learning preference.
And, at the end of the day, we have eyes. We're very visual creatures. I know people want to get off into these vast areas of what people do and how they do it. I mean, there are certain things that you will learn by looking at, and there are certain things you have to do. Like, you can learn how to, I don't even know what to think of just by watching somebody do it. You can learn to play an instrument by watching somebody do it, but you still have to do it to be really good at it. We can watch a lot of things, but at the end of the day, we have to be involved in them to actually learn how to do something. You're not changing behavior. If you don't have a really great communication style, somebody can tell you how to do it. Conceptually, you can get into it and you can understand it. But in order to really be good at it, you still have to do it. So at the end, we're all, we might start out visual, but we're going to get to that kinesthetic stage, or else we're just not going to get it.
That's a very important point, right? So we can watch many videos, we can listen to many podcasts, but at the end of the day, we have to do it. And I learned from you, when you say trying means we're not doing it. So we have to do it. And I had a client and I said, science says it takes 66 days to change a behavior. And I saw him basically just sitting back in the chair. And I'm like, no. You cannot sit back in the chair. You have to do it consistently every day out of those 66 days. And then it becomes a habit. And when we look at sport, how do people get better? Practice. And they say the champions, they go beyond the pain point. And that's why they are so much better than we are. I'm amazed when I follow the people who do Ironman, they're training now. And I'm like, this is so tough.
Yeah. And, it's really interesting because Bruce Lee is one of my idols. I think he was one of the greatest philosophers that ever lived and the most underrated philosophers that ever lived. His whole concept was, I don't fear the man that knows 10,000 moves and practice them once. I fear the man that knows one move and practice it 10,000 times. Yeah. And I don't know if practice makes perfect, but I do know it makes permanent. Yeah. And it gives you that permanent habit of how to do things and how to react and how to respond, because you have that in your toolbox and you've done it over and over again. And you're able to adjust. Once you have it down, you're able to adjust when it's necessary.
Very wise. So practice cannot make it perfect, but at least, and I also think we need to add some fun into it, right? So if we do sports and like, I don't like it. I mean, like for me, if I'm not into the running and I'm like, I have to go and run, sometimes it's those first 5 minutes that are a little difficult, but then you're like, that's what I like. That's why I'm doing it. So we need to get motivated, put it on our calendar and do it and feel much better.
Right, Suzanne, and that's true, because what do they say? You might not be motivated if you're sitting on the chair, but once you start doing it and you get into it, you go. And then after you get over that 5-minute hump, now you're in it. Yeah. And now you're like, okay, I need to accomplish this. I just need to finish it. I think you knew that I've studied like Krav Maga, the Israeli self-defense system, for about 14 years. I taught it for about 6. And it's really wild the way that through practice and through time, you've watched people come in who have no concept of fighting. As a matter of fact, hitting something is fearful to them. 6 months later, when they're testing, they're a changed person. Learning how to fight doesn't make you mean. It makes you a little more confident. I've done this for so long. I'm not a bully. I'm not going to go out and start a fight with anybody for any apparent reason. But it does give you that confidence, and it gave them that confidence through that practice. And they're doing things over and over again. Now their body knows how to move. Now they know how to accomplish something if they're in a situation. Will they have it perfect? No, because we always train to screw up. So you screwed it up. How are you going to adjust? You have all these other tools and all these other moves. But getting down the initial move is all you need to move on to the next.
And practice it over and over so it becomes a behavior.
And that's where the visual comes in. Because when you understand what you're doing, then you can visualize it. And then you can see the whole thing start to play out in your mind. So then when you go back to practice, you start to incorporate all of that. It ties together, but one doesn't work without the other.
So keep moving every hour or whenever your Apple Watch is telling you.
Or just your clock, your timer.
Or just your timer. Buy the Weight Watchers book and get the sandbags, right?
Get the sandbags.
Thank you so much, Kevin. This was really enlightening, uplifting, and motivating. And I want to get those sandbags too. So thank you so much and good luck with everything. Thank you.
Thank you. It was awesome talking to you, Suzanne.
It's always fun to talk to Kevin. Very inspiring, uplifting, motivational. What else can I say? What are you taking away from the talk with Kevin? Take it from the Iron Woman. We have episodes every Monday, every Wednesday, and also a Facebook Live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And Get Loopy, the plant-based snack. GetLoopy.com. You get 20% off your first order. Take it from the Iron Woman. And Take It from the Iron Woman is also a book that can be bought at Amazon.com as an ebook or a paperback. Take it from the Iron Woman. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.